Welcome back to ML Miller Frights, part of the Kings of Horror Network. This is ML Miller. Today I've got a review of the new film Homewrecker, which is directed by Gayne, and it stars Precious Chong, Alex Essoe, Tony Matthews, and Kris Siddiqi. Homewrecker is out on digital, download, and on demand from Dark Star Pictures and Uncork'd Entertainment. And what a fantastic little film this is. Homewrecker is the female equivalent of Patrick Bice and Mark Duplass's Creep, minus the shaky cam. Incorporating equal parts misery, fatal attraction, single white female, and the aforementioned Creep, director Gayne and his co-writers and stars Alex Essoe and Precious Chong have delivered a wonderfully and darkly delicious little story of twisted relationships, gullible people, and menacing loneliness. Starry Eyes' Alex Essoe is Michelle, a home decorator who fills out her time with dance, yoga, and exercise classes. Far too preoccupied with her troubled relationship with her husband, she doesn't even notice someone in her classes seems to be paying very close attention to her. A chance meeting at a coffee shop finally introduces Michelle to Linda, played by Precious Chong, a middle-aged free spirit who invites herself to join Michelle at her table and then proceeds to manipulate her to come to her house to help redecorate it. Once Michelle is inside Linda's home, Linda's neediness and manipulations warn Michelle that she needs to vacate post-haste. But by this time, it's too late. Michelle is trapped and soon gets into the battle of her life, trying to simply get out of Linda's home. Homewrecker, like Creep, and some of those other films I mentioned earlier, is a film about a pushy person taking advantage of a more gullible soul. We've all been in this type of situation, where we know we're being taken advantage of, but in order to be nice, you go along with the pushy person so as not to rock the boat or cause a scene. Everyone understands that regret we have Monday morning quarterbacking the events leading up to the uncomfortable situation, where you ask yourself, why the hell didn't I just say something? Or why the shit didn't I just say no? Homewrecker taps into these feelings in such a deft manner, and it works because it's such a familiar human situation. Because that humanity is such a common feeling, Homewrecker works, no matter how insane it gets in the latter portions of the film, as the events leading up to them don't feel so out of the ordinary. Poor Alex Essoe. First, she rips out her hair and becomes an inhuman monster in Starry Eyes, and now this. It seems the poor gal must suffer in every one of her roles. The thing is, she suffers so well. Essoe has a great girl-next-door quality. There's a niceness to her, and she seems to be utterly believable in these underdog, in-over-her-head roles. This is a really physical performance, too, as Michelle and Linda go toe-to-toe throughout Linda's home, and she seems up to the task to dole out a beating when pushed too far. Essoe is great, and it's easy to understand her position, feel for her plight, and root for her to get out of this dire situation. Essoe's co-star, Precious Chong, is a true standout here, as I've never really seen her before in other films. And yes, I checked, she's the daughter of Tommy Chong and the sis of Ray Dong Chong, which gives light to Precious's wonderfully comic timing that occurs so often throughout the film. Chong really is fearless in the role of Linda. The little we do see of her life is sad, and if she wasn't doing such terrible things, one might almost feel sorry for her. Still, she makes for a memorable villain here, as it seems she knows exactly what she's doing to Michelle through all of her manipulations, pleadings for her to stay, and desperate battle to keep her in the house once Michelle has had enough. This is a star-making role for Chong, who isn't afraid to get down and dirty and look downright unappealing in her portrayal of this very sick and demented woman. Despite the seriousness of the way Michelle is being held hostage inside Linda's home, Homewrecker maintains a quirky and hilarious dark tone throughout. Linda's room is decorated with Raggedy Andy and Raggedy Ann doll wallpaper, a twisted reminder that Linda is too old to have children, and a room that becomes a prison for Michelle, who herself is having doubts that her husband wants to start a family. Linda dances around her room like a teenager, singing into her vibrator while looking at the camera in a scene that works comedically, but also has a perverse, sad, and even wicked feel to it. The over-the-top, teeth-gnashing fight scenes between Linda and Michelle seem to be for life or death, but the way they fumble around using household objects as weapons still can't help but be ludicrously entertaining. This is a film that understands the twisted tone it possesses and takes full advantage of it, but still manages to have some very serious moments. Homewrecker appears to be a collaborative effort from director Gayne and his two stars, Essoe and Chong, and you feel it in every move this film makes. Homewrecker very meticulously moves towards its climax and smartly lays breadcrumbs to follow if you're a deft viewer. There are surprises to be had, and some gruesome and bloody scenes in the latter portion of the film that made me pull back in my seat in acknowledgement that this film has the guts to go to extremely uncomfortable places physically, mentally, and emotionally. Homewrecker is a pitch black and horrifyingly comedic achievement that you need to seek out. This is the type of film you can watch with your significant other to laugh and gasp at all the way through. Be sure to check it out. It's out on digital download and on demand right now. That'll be it for this video. If you like what you just saw, please hit like down below. Share this with your friends across social media. If you're looking for written reviews, I have a ton of them over at mlmillerwrites.com. And please, please, please hit subscribe and the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're